Yet another big change coming soon for those visiting Japan, now concerning something that for many people was already confusing enough: tax-free. And this isn't just a tiny paperwork change, it's the kind of change where the advice you heard from someone who went to Japan last year might be completely wrong for your trip. So let's go through what's changing, what tourists need to do, and the mistakes that could cost you your money. Hi everyone, it's Abby from Pictour. I'm a photographer and guide in Japan, and we offer trip planning services right here that you should check out. But quick disclaimer before I get started: tax rules can change, stores may handle things differently, and this is not legal or tax advice. So, part 1, how tax-free shopping works until October 31st, 2026. Depending on when you watch this video and when your trip is, the instructions are different. So first, here's exactly what tourists do under the current system, which applies to purchases made until October 31st, 2026. Simply put, you look for a participating tax-free shop. Not every store does this, so look for the tax-free sign or ask staff. Next, you make sure your purchase qualifies. The store will usually check whether you meet the minimum purchase amount and whether the items are eligible. Next, you bring your actual passport when you shop, not a photo of it, not a "it's back at the hotel." Your passport is what proves your visitor status. And then at checkout or at the store's tax-free counter, you will show your passport, the staff will confirm your eligibility, process the purchase as tax-free, and you will pay the tax-exclusive price, meaning the 10% consumption tax is removed at the store. You get your discount then and there. And you'll keep the receipt, and you'll follow any rules for the items you bought, especially consumables, which are usually sealed in a bag, and you cannot open them or use them in Japan. You take them out in the bag. So under the current system, the important thing is that the main tax-free procedure happens at the store. And that's the system most tourists are familiar with. But that system is ending. But before I get into the new system, let me quickly talk about who's eligible for this. The official page describes eligible shoppers as tax-free goods purchasers such as foreign visitors. So in practice, tax-free shopping is for eligible non-resident visitors, not people living in Japan as residents. So myself, I do not qualify for tax-free. Now, what changes on November 1st, 2026? For purchases made on this date or after, Japan's tax-free system changes to the refund method. So under the new system, you still shop at a tax-free shop, you will present your passport at the store, and you then pay the tax-inclusive price, meaning the price including the consumption tax, the whole price. The store will register your purchase information, and then when you leave Japan, you complete a customs procedure at the airport or seaport. And after that procedure confirms the goods are being taken out of Japan, the amount equivalent to consumption tax is refunded. However, the airport part of all of this is where I think people are going to get confused, so let's slow down and walk through that next in order. So at the airport, this is the actual procedure from November 1st on. Under the refund method, paying at the store is only half of the process. And this departure procedure I'm going to explain is what basically unlocks your refund, and you have to do it within 90 days of the purchase date, which you will probably not be able to be here longer than 90 days. And what the airport steps look like in real life would be you go to a tax-free procedure terminal, kind of like a kiosk, in the international departure lobby. You will present your passport, and then the terminal is going to give you one of two results. Green, no inspection needed, you're done. Red, take your tax-free goods to the customs inspection area so they can check them out. And then, assuming you're cleared, you're done. So green means walk away, red means show your stuff, then walk away. You will do this before you check your bags. This is the part people are going to mess up, I think. The kiosks and the customs area are in the international departure lobby before baggage drop. So you need to have all of your tax-free goods with you. So the order of everything, arrive with your tax-free goods accessible, not buried at the bottom of a suitcase you're about to check. Do your kiosk. If you get red, obviously go to customs with the goods, and then you'll check your luggage and go through security. So if you check your bags first, you generally cannot get them back just to finish this procedure. If you fly domestically first and then you take an international flight out of Japan, you are supposed to do this at your final departure airport, according to the official website. The airport where you actually leave Japan, not the domestic one. So please make sure to leave extra time for this process. This is not necessarily a quick stamp and go situation. You need to finish the whole thing, kiosk, and then if you get red, customs stuff, before you board the plane. And if you run out of time and skip this process, the procedure counts as not completed, which can mean no refund. And if you miss a flight because you didn't leave enough time for this, customs and the airline will not compensate you. So maybe arrive earlier than you think you need, especially if you have a lot of tax-free stuff. To make things easier, you are supposed to have Visit Japan web accessible at some airports. That would be Narita, Haneda, Kansai, Chibu, Fukuoka, New Chitose, and Naha. They may let you complete parts of this online through Visit Japan web in designated areas of the international departure lobby up to the security checkpoint. And Visit Japan Web is already a great website that I recommend using anyways for custom related activities because it typically expedites you through everything. But as a side note, this is a convenience, not a total guarantee. So just still have everything prepared. Another important note is that missing one item can kill the whole receipt and therefore that whole refund. So when customs will look at things, they handle it per purchase, so per receipt. If one receipt has 5 things on it and you used or lost one of them, you may lose the tax back on all 5. So until you're through the departure procedure, keep your tax-free items grouped by receipt as well in case they need to be inspected. Don't mix everything into one souvenir bag and hope that you can sort it out at the airport. And also the whole sealed bag is going away, but the don't use it rule is not going away. Under the current system, when you have consumables like food, drinks, cosmetics, and medicine, they often have to stay in this kind of special sealed packaging that the shop will give you. But from November 1st, that special packaging rule is abolished. You will not have to keep those items in a special tax-free bag, which sounds easier, but it does not mean that now you can eat, drink, or use the stuff you got in Japan and still get the refund. If you consume the consumables, those items are not eligible for customs inspection or the tax refund. And if you used up all or part of a tax-free purchase and you no longer have the items, please don't try to complete the tax-free procedure as if nothing happened. Maybe report the consumption to a customs officer at the counter. The new rule is no special sealed bag, but if you want the refund, the goods still have to leave Japan with you. And if you only remember one thing from this airport section, do it before bags, keep every item on the receipt, and don't use the stuff if you want the money back. Next up, what goods are eligible from November 1st? The rule is essentially spend 5,000 yen or more, tax excluded, per store per day on eligible goods you will personally take out of Japan. You need to export all tax-free goods that pass customs inspections. What this means is there's no loophole where you get the refund and then you leave the items in Japan for somebody. The whole point of the system is the goods are leaving Japan. What about shipping items overseas? Some people buy lots of stuff here and end up needing to send it back. And this is one thing to be careful about because tax-free goods are supposed to be taken out of Japan by the purchaser and presented for the departure procedure if required. So the official page for the refund method emphasizes that the quantity of goods must be limited to items you can personally carry and take out of Japan at departure. So if you're planning to ship items overseas, please don't assume they qualify under this regular tourist tax-free process. Ask the shop and please check official guidance before buying. Many of you may be wondering, what about my refund? When do I get the money? Who gives me the money? The official page says the refund is, of course, provided by each tax-free shop or the refund service provider entrusted by the shop. And so refund details are going to vary depending on where you bought the items. I highly recommend before making a large purchase, you ask the shop about refund time, if there's any additional fees or something you need to know about. And then for each refund, generally speaking, I would assume about 1 to up to 4 weeks for refunds. What is tax-free versus duty-free? Sometimes this trips people up. When you shop around Japan, tax-free usually refers to Japan's consumption tax system for eligible visitors. And then the airport duty-free shopping is a totally different context. This 2026 refund method change is about the tourist tax-free shopping system at tax-free shops in Japan. So let's have a quick example scenario just to make sure we're all on the same page. Let's say you go shopping in Tokyo on or after November 1st, 2026. You buy 30,000 yen worth of cosmetics and snacks at one tax-free shop. You have one receipt for those things. At the store, you will present your actual passport. You will pay the tax-inclusive price, so the whole thing. The store will register your purchase. You keep that receipt's items together in one place. And then at the airport, before checking your luggage, you go to the tax-free kiosk with all of those goods on you. You will present your passport. Green, you're good. Red, take the goods to customs. And then you will check your bags, and if everything is confirmed, the store or refund service will handle the refund and you'll get it at some point in the future. But if you ate one Kit Kat from that receipt before departure, the whole receipt may not be eligible for the refund. So technically, one matcha Kit Kat could become the most administratively expensive snack of your entire trip. My practical advice, if I was a traveler, if you have a small purchase, maybe think about whether the refund is worth the extra airport step. Next, if it's a big purchase, definitely ask the store how the refund works before paying. Next, definitely keep your tax-free goods grouped by receipt, even if you just have to get a bunch of little home beanie shopping bags and just put everything in that bag. Whatever you have to do, keep stuff organized with the receipts just in case. Make sure you can get to the items in your luggage. I know a lot of us buy a lot of stuff and cram a lot of stuff into the suitcase, but try not to have it where you have to like pull every single piece of underwear out of your suitcase just to get to the bottom of the bag where the stuff is. Think about that when you're packing. Fifth, arrive at the airport early. Sixth, please don't consume anything or try to ship stuff out of Japan or not be honest about things. Even if it's unlikely that you will be stopped at the airport, not cool. Seventh, check the official site again close to your trip because who knows what's changing at any given time. And then as a closing checklist, here is the updated Japan tax-free checklist for the new refund method. If you want to like screenshot this for your trip, I'll look cute in the background. Hope you enjoyed that. So in short, Japan tax-free shopping is not going away, but after November 1st, it will become a refund process and your airport organization will matter maybe a little bit more. So I hope this video helped you guys out. Let me know in the comments what you want to buy in Japan, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!